Hello everyone and welcome to, yes, the Action Figuratorium. It is a real place. I am its curator. My name is Mark Major. I am here in Southeast Portland in a studio at the back of another studio, hunkered down, some could say, as a mob of crazy people run rampant in the streets here in the Pacific Northwest. It's an exciting time to be alive, isn't it? Well, one of the things I like to do on this channel is, of course, cover Kickstarters of these new and indie toy companies bringing product to market to see what their marketing ideas are. I like to analyze these, put them through the ringer of best practices, and of course I'm a guy just like everyone else with an opinion, and I always like to have a little bit of fun and weigh in if I can. And so we're going to be doing exactly that today. This is another Kickstarter from Wandering Planet Toys. I have covered them before, and I think this is worth taking a look at. This is some celebrity, although in the past, celebrity action figures of Laurel and Hardy, and they're in the 1/12th scale, and they have a lot of articulation, so this might be something that you're kind of into. Everybody, let's get together on this. Let's strap on to our leather, and let's hold on tight. All right, so let's cut over to just get right into desktop cam, shall we? This is the Kickstarter for Laurel and Hardy collectible action figures 1/12th scale. This is from Wandering Planet Toys. I covered them before in their Wave 2, not Wave 1, but Wave 2 of action figures for that BBC 60s cult TV show, The Prisoner. Have you ever seen that show? It's a really cool concept, believe it or not. A lot of people, I think, like The Prisoner because of the execution. It's got all that 60s summer of love kind of gooey psychedelia going on into it. But it's a real interesting concept. So could do a whole episode just about the concept, I feel. So I covered these guys in the past, and the product that they brought to market were little sort of 3.75, kind of the old school Kenner Star Wars, essentially what we now refer to as a reaction toy, 5 points of articulation where it looks like it's carved out of a piece of soap by inmates, that kind of thing. Super 7 is currently the main tchotchke maker of them, but apparently indie companies like Wandering Planet Toys can do that. Of course, that was the second series of The Prisoner action figures that they were doing. They had already successfully crowdfunded one before that, and before that they actually did a Nancy Drew action figure, same scale, etc., etc. So these guys have done several Kickstarters. They have funded, they have fulfilled. I feel perfectly vetted with this company that they're going to deliver going forward, and I haven't even looked at it yet. It's probably terrible. Let's take a look. So we've got this opening splash video. I'm going to turn the sound down so it doesn't feed into the mic, but it's some campy music. And then it's the two guys who are the company, and they're kind of dressed like they're a Laurel and Hardy skit, and they've got some old-timey effects on it. Okay, so let's just kind of get into what it is these cats are trying to sell me. Let's start at the campaign. All right, here we go. We got these two figures. Now, I actually am into 1/6 scale, the 12-inch, the old school size, G.I. Joe Barbie size. I'm into that scale celebrity figures. I have quite a bit of them. I have a Snoop Dogg, I have a Billie Eilish, I've got an Ozzy Osbourne. Of course, I've got a whole bunch of goofball presidents. Right, I've got all the George Bush, the George W. Bush, I got a Dick Cheney. All right, so I'm into celebrity figures, okay? Take it down a notch when it comes to that. But here we have them pushing into the 1/12th scale, which is like, you know, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series. Of course, the big giant indie company is Mythic Legions. We cannot not bring up Mythic Legions when you're comparing action figures and prices. They're kind of the pace car, in my opinion, of sort of like what you get with your money these days. But we've seen like a Celebrity 112 Freddie Mercury action figure. I don't remember the name of the toy company. They're kind of spendy. And I believe there was a Michael Jackson one. I think there was a Smooth Criminal looking one. So this is kind of pushing into that. These, of course, appear to be the 3D graphic, not an actual 3D print. I could be wrong. Here's essentially what the package is going to be. You're going to get a 2-pack of these guys, and you can see they come with face plates, hats, hair, some accessories, a bunch of hands, you know, all the things you need. Of course, when you've got a mold for this thing, you've got to do variants to get the most out of the mold. And why not a black and white version? That's pretty smart. I don't think that's a bad idea. You know, in some ways you kind of compete with yourself, but you know, if someone's going to buy it or they're going to buy 2 because there's a variant, then why not do it? Who's telling you not to? You can also get them on a single card. I think it's kind of a disadvantage. I think if you're going to get this, you should get both. You should be like, yeah, I just got Hardy or whatever. It seems kind of weird. By the way, I can't believe I didn't bring it. I actually have an 8-inch Hardy doll with, it's just, you know, like a Mego type body with cloth on it and a head, that kind of thing. So there's some add-on doodads. There's like a lunch box. There's a couple of lapel pins. There's a shirt. $40 for the shirt, people. I am in the wrong business. Actually, I'm not in the wrong business. You can get one of my shirts, one of the shirts that I push called Taxman Working. Maybe I'll put a link in the details. A lot cheaper than $39. So, t-shirts, action figures, all that kind of stuff, tchotchkes. All right, so what are they charging for all this? Let's see what the rewards are. You can get a single-carded Stan, a single-carded Ollie, $39 each if you want them both. In the single box, $75. Save a couple dollars, not much. Not much at all. And you can get it color or black and white. Of course, there's the sort of gift set for $189. All the little doodads that we looked at, those are all available options. Okay, so let's do a little bit of this. Let's do a little bit of sussing. Now, interesting enough, they only need to do 40,000. Why is that? Usually a mold costs around 75,000 upwards to 100,000 if you want to kind of pad out your production. 40,000 seems kind of low, kind of suspect. It could be that they had enough money from their previous campaign that they're just banking it and they don't need to raise all that money. They only need to raise 40,000. And then they can get these figures made and then they can keep them on hand and sell them for a long time as a kind of an evergreen. That's how I would do it. I would get I would stock up and I would just drool these out as needed and live off them. So interesting to note. But we are going to look at my 3 rules. Do not wince when I bring the graphic up, people. Do not wince. We need to accept that this is the way. We have seen successful Kickstarters. This is what they do, okay? They do this. Even though some of these things I was like, they don't do this. And when I looked at the data, they did this. Okay, 3-tier pricing. Something cheap that everyone can afford. That's what I always say. Something cheap everyone can afford. Something deluxe for people who have more money, willing to spend more money if you give them more product. And luxury simply as a way to suck up cash. It's just there to be the most expensive thing on the aisle, on the most expensive item on the menu, right? It doesn't have to actually have that kind of value in it. You don't need to, you just spray paint it gold. It's not real gold. It's spray painted gold, but you charge like it's real gold. Okay, then the wider the selection, the higher the sales. That's just a simple equation. Make sure all your marketing condensed onto the Kickstarter. Do not force me to go looking. I don't care enough most of the time. So we only have, I mean, $39 is a simple figure and they have 2 to offer. So it's, and you can get them in black and white. I'm going to say they absolutely 100% do not have a cheap item that anyone can afford, that they're selling 2 deluxe celebrity look-alike figures. And they don't necessarily have a luxury item per se, but they do have kind of this gift pack for 189 bucks. So I'm going to say that that qualifies. I do not think that the 2-pack for 75 is the deluxe item and that 39 is the entry. I think these are deluxe figures. I think what's missing from this campaign, and I'm a little shocked. I'm a little shocked because we saw the company Mezco crush at doing this technique, is yes, you offer your 1/12 scale badass, fully articulated, comes with a million things offering for X amount of dollars, but then you have the 5 points of articulation reaction style figure also available. For example, those Gomez's that Mezco do. It's the 6-inch guy, but he's got a bug head and he's wearing like clothes, right? And he comes with all these accessories. He comes in a lunchbox with a thing and a diorama and a working boombox and all this stuff you get with it, okay? And there's a shirt packed in there and probably socks and probably pins, kind of like this, what they're doing with their super pack. But then Mezco has their cheap garbage 5 points of articulation figure. That is also probably overcharged a bit because it's special. I'm surprised these cats don't do that because their other 3 Kickstarters were all 5 points of articulation figures. They know how to do it. That is their wheelhouse. What is wrong with these guys? They show up, and where you would expect wheelhouse, they're giving me nothing. That would be the perfect $20 item to get the generic things, and they come on a piece of cardboard, and is there even a blister pack at that point over them? Doesn't need to be. Just tape, okay? Twist, I don't care. Just glue it on. Just wrap it like a burrito. I don't care. Give me the $20 cheap cheese ball figure, all right? And then if people want to buy 2, you charge them 45 bucks. What? Maybe not that, but maybe that. I don't know. They do this with antiques a lot. Trust me on this. Okay, so they're just missing a cheap 5 POA figure on this campaign, and they would have what I believe magic. This would be gold. This is real niche. This is going back to what I talk about with, do we need this in regards to the Goonies action figures? My simple response is no, we don't. They have Laurel and Hardy figures for people who collect that stuff, and you know, I've got one that no one has wanted for 101 years. The package is like almost destroyed from storage wear. It's just been sitting around. No one will ever buy it. Will people buy these? I think some of these 1/12 guys who buy the Freddie Mercury and buy the Michael Jackson, I think they'll get this stuff because it's kind of weird. It's kind of outside from your Marvel Legends. And wouldn't it be great if Laurel and Hardy showed up on set of, you know, Darth Vader choking somebody? You know, you do these toy photography mashups with these guys. I think that's the crowd for this. I think there's some real sort of hardcore, we want something unusual collectors who are going to buy these. I think this is going to fund. The other campaigns these guys did funded, and they seem to fund well, and the people seem to like the products they got. Oh, I was confused by all those The Prisoner action figures, but I figured it would sort itself out. You know, it doesn't need me yarping at it. But this is definitely going to fund people. They're going to definitely get enough cats on board to do 40,000. I think it's going to hit, I think these guys are going to rack up probably $75,000, almost double what they're looking for. Could they go over 100,000? Not with this selection. They don't have enough figures to get them there. They've got, because they're so expensive, you're going to pay, who's going to get one and not the other? Everyone's going to buy 75 bucks. They're already at $17,000. Let's look and see how many people. One guy bought Stan, one guy bought Ollie, but 30 people got the black and white, and 112 bought the box set. So, and who got the super duper kit? 26 people. So everyone's going to buy the $75 item. It's going to do over $40,000, but they do not have the variety, right, to get them there. And also, I'm the guy, and I'll take flack if it turns out that you don't have the greatest sales because of it, but I'm the guy that says, look, your $10 add-on, your lapel pin, or your whatever it is that you're selling, you know, your tchotchke keychain thing, which I love. big fan. Can't do a campaign without them. Not saying get rid of them, just the opposite. Get as many as you can. Easy to fulfill. You can send them out early, so when people are bitching, where's my shit? Here's your lapel keychain, buddy. Put a sock in it. And if you're selling socks, send them the socks. Okay. Big fan of that, but make those available to anybody for 10 bucks. Why? Because when you do the tour and go on people's podcasts, you say, look, if you don't want to buy a 2-pack of these guys for 75 bucks, you don't have the money, or you're just not into Laurel and Hardy, but you want to see indie toys succeed, and of course the Action Figuratorium always has a message, go indie, don't go mainstream, right? If you want to see us succeed, you want to help us out, and instead of doing this buy me a coffee pledge thing, buy the tchotchke, buy the sticker pack, buy the button, buy the pin, get one for 10 bucks. You know, if some people are really creative, they can make their sticker game interesting. Make it like 1 out of every 10 is like a special foil one, or 1 out of every 20. You know, things like that. Have a sticker sheet A, B, C, D. Have a pin A, B, C, D. Say support the thing, buy a pin. You got 4 to choose from, just get one. You know, stuff that's easy to fulfill, easy to make. Adds a couple extra bucks here and there. That's what I would do with everything, and especially with this, because they've got all these things already like in the list of add-ons, and be real interested to see how many of these add-ons they sell. So I think, I don't know, maybe that might be all I can really say about this campaign. If you like these vids, if you stumbled upon this and you think these vids are interesting or cool, I've got a whole playlist of these. I look at pretty much everything. In fact, one that I just did a week ago really needs some attention. You guys should check this out. This cat here, the Beards of Dragon Kingdoms, he's launching these sort of fantasy figures, different race bodies at a time. He's starting with dwarves, he's got humans, he's got elves, he's probably got gnome hobbits or something. But it's like a 3.75 scale that's kind of an antithesis to like the, you know, 6-inch scale of Mythic Legions. So if you're guys who are into that scale and you want to get like a fantasy realm going, maybe give some love and attention to this guy, the Beards of Dragon Kingdoms. It's a dude named Michael Norman. He's a sculptor who's worked for all the major companies, including Gentle Giant. He knows what he's doing. He probably has a bit of touch when it comes to getting things produced and made. He's also backed like over 200 Kickstarters himself. Think about throwing some money into him, and don't necessarily get Dragon Man. Or the other one I covered recently was from Igo Stuff, those crazy mutant creatures. Definitely, you know, Shamumu. Definitely go check out and give money to that guy, or to this, or even to Wandering Planet Toys, to help get this stuff going and get some money to some people that aren't necessarily Hasbro, Super 7, or God forbid Funko. So thanks to everybody who made it this far into the episode. I know it gets wacky here sometimes, but I do appreciate it. And, you know, whenever possible, whatever you can, try to stay charged.